Let's jump right in. Today, we're flipping the script on everything you've probably been told about building wealth. We're going to demystify exactly how to become a millionaire on a totally average salary. Seriously, if you've ever felt like building massive wealth is just reserved for tech CEOs, lottery winners, or people making multiple six figures, this explainer is going to absolutely change your perspective. Let's look at the actual numbers.
Okay, let's dive into this wild statistic. Why do only 2.5% of Americans actually have $1 million or more saved for retirement? It's a staggering number, right? The immediate assumption we all make is, well, people just don't earn enough. We think our paychecks are simply too small to build serious life-changing wealth. But, as you'll see as we unpack the data today, falling short of that $1 million mark rarely has to do with the actual size of your paycheck.
To prove that ordinary income can reach extraordinary heights, we're going to anchor our explainer today around a persona. We'll call him Alex. Alex is an electrician living in Columbus, Ohio, and he earns exactly $62,000 a year. Now, why 62 grand? Because that is literally the exact median full-time salary in the United States right now. You know, if you just Google the average salary, it's totally skewed by a tiny handful of multimillionaires dragging the math way up. But the median, our true middle point, is a much better baseline for what a normal worker actually takes home. Half the country makes more and half makes less. Alex is our everyday guy who will never break six figures in his entire career, yet he is going to show us exactly how average math adds up to millions.
To get Alex there, we're going to use a clear roadmap based on 4 pillars: protect the gap, invest consistently, master your time, and plug the leaks.
Let's start right off with Pillar 1, protect the gap.
So what exactly is the gap? Well, it's the absolute crucial difference between what you earn and what you actually keep. Think about it. If Alex makes $62,000 and spends $62,000, his gap is literally zero. And the uncomfortable truth for a lot of us is that this gap is usually destroyed by small, nickel-and-dime behaviors, not one giant, reckless purchase. It's the 3 delivery orders a week, the 22% interest on a lingering credit card balance, or leasing an apartment that's just a couple $100 over budget. It forces you to look in the mirror and ask yourself directly, what is your gap?
And this brilliantly illustrates why your behavior completely trumps the size of your salary. Take Alex, earning his 62 grand, but he maintains a 10 to 15% savings rate. Now contrast him with an actual big tech VP earning $700,000 a year who saves 0%. You might be thinking, no way, but because the VP's lifestyle inflated so much, private schools, 3 luxury cars, a massive mortgage, he actually struggles to make ends meet at the end of the month. Meanwhile, our guy Alex is steadily growing wealthier simply because he is ruthlessly defending that gap.
Now, defending your gap doesn't mean you have to be cheap. It just means you have to be highly intentional. You need defense mechanisms to stop your hard-earned wealth from leaking out. First, you've got to actively track your spending versus your income. You need total awareness of your finances. Next, don't write off the small stuff. Using digital grocery apps and coupons absolutely adds up over a year. And finally, get on the phone. Negotiate with your phone and internet providers to lower those fixed costs. Every single dollar you save here widens your gap.
That brings us to Pillar 2, invest consistently.
Once you've secured that gap, you've got to put it to work. Saving just $500 a month turns becoming a millionaire into a mathematical inevitability. It removes luck entirely. But you cannot afford to wait. Just look at the cost of delay here. If Alex starts investing that $500 a month at age 25, he hits over $1.5 million by age 65. But if he waits just 10 years and starts at age 35, he only reaches $680,000. That 10-year delay carries a jaw-dropping penalty of $870,000. Now, if you're watching this and you're over 40, don't panic. You can still pull the savings rate lever. A 45-year-old starting from zero can aggressively save $1,000 a month and still hit over $1.2 million by age 67.
So, what's the highest ROI action you can take right this second to get this rolling? It's surprisingly simple. Open a retirement account, ideally a Roth IRA. Pick a low-cost, broad-based index fund and automate your monthly transfers. Honestly, automation is the magic word here. It completely removes the need for daily motivation. Think about it. If your investing relies on you remembering to do it or feeling inspired to log in that day, you're probably going to fail. Automating it practically guarantees consistent behavior without you having to lift a single finger.
Now, what's really fascinating is how defeating lifestyle inflation can literally turn you from a millionaire into a multimillionaire. If Alex saves 10% of his income, he retires with $1.5 million.
But look what happens if he just avoids upgrading his lifestyle when he gets a raise and pushes that savings rate to 15%. He jumps to $2.4 million. If he manages to hit a 20% savings rate, he finishes with an incredible $3.2 million. By just keeping your life roughly the same as your income gently rises, your wealth absolutely explodes.
Let's move on to Pillar 3, master your time.
We can't build a time machine, obviously, but in the investing world, time is your absolute ultimate superpower. It's the one resource nobody can buy more of. Check out this math reveal because it's completely mind-bending. This is the inflection point of compound interest. In Alex's first 20 years of investing, his balance grew to a very solid $283,000. But look at years 30 through 34. In just those 4 late years, his balance skyrockets from $718,000 to over $1 million. He literally generated more wealth in those 4 short years than he did in his entire first 2 decades combined. The most explosive gains are always waiting right at the very end of the timeline.
To put that into perspective, 99% of Warren Buffett's incredible, mind-boggling fortune was actually built after his 50th birthday. No joke. He was a very successful investor in his 20s and 30s for sure, but his true wealth exploded entirely because of this classic compounding curve. The gains always go exponential at the very end. It's absolute proof that extreme patience pays off massively.
So the crucial point here is that you absolutely cannot interrupt this compounding process. Panic selling destroys your gains. Take a look at the penalty for missing just a handful of the best days in the market over a 20-year period. If you pull your money out and miss just the 10 best days, you end up with 56% less gains. Miss the 30 best days, you lose 84% of your returns. And why does this happen? Because the data clearly shows that the absolute best market days mathematically occur right during or immediately after severe market turbulence. The person who panic sells just to feel safe is practically guaranteeing they'll miss the exact days that would have completely rebuilt their portfolio.
Finally, we arrive at Pillar 4, plug the leaks.
This final pillar is the ultimate strategy to ensure you aren't quietly bleeding out your precious returns over your lifetime. And the biggest leak of all? Fees. Look at the cost of fees over 20 years on a $100,000 portfolio. A tiny, seemingly invisible 0.25% annual fee compared to a 1% annual fee results in a loss of nearly $30,000. To frame that for Alex the electrician, if he gets hit with a 1% fee, maybe from expensive mutual funds or a wealth manager, over his 40-year timeline, it steals $350,000 in compounding opportunity. Do not hand over your compounding power to someone just to buy and hold index funds for you. It's just not worth it.
Let's move along and see how this builds when we aggressively grab what I like to call free money to plug any final gaps. You want to leverage sources like high-yield interest accounts, triple tax-advantaged HSA accounts, and even cashback credit cards assuming you're super disciplined. But the biggest one by far is the employer 401k match. Did you know 63% of retirement plans offer a match? If Alex's employer matches 6% of his salary, that is over $3,700 of free money dropping into his account every single year. It acts as an incredible accelerant to your entire compounding timeline.
And that brings us to the ultimate wealth secret.
We've walked through all the steps, but did you notice the missing element across this entire explainer? A massive salary was never ever required to reach 7 figures. Look back at the journey we just took. Not once did we say Alex had to quit his day job, start a huge tech startup, or suddenly figure out how to make 300 grand a year. He never broke 6 figures. This brilliantly proves that totally average incomes can absolutely yield multi-million-dollar results. It just takes disciplined behavior, controlling your expenses, and a whole lot of patience.
So let's quickly summarize the actionable framework of our 4 pillars so you can really lock this in. Number 1, protect your gap by spending less than you earn. Number 2, automate consistently by putting your investments on total autopilot. Number 3, let time compound by staying in the market, especially when things get turbulent. And number 4, avoid fees and grab matches to protect and accelerate your growth.
The math we looked at today is inevitable. As long as you give it the time and the consistency it needs, it works. The real challenge isn't the math at all, it's the behavior. So the ultimate question I'll leave you with is this: will you build your gap? It's time to stop hyper-focusing on the size of your paycheck and start obsessing over how much of it you are actually keeping. Go find your gap today and just let the math do the rest. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. I really hope it completely reshapes how you look at building your financial future.